Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to answer the 10 questions that seems to be going around, and thank you Marsha for tagging me, much appreciated. I think. Okay, what I'm going to try to do is do some tags, or yeah, they're tags. They're actually thank you tags, I guess, to go with the winners for my 300 subscriber giveaway. So I'm going to try to do those while I answer the questions. What I have in front of me is some die cuts. These are from Reject Shop in Australia, and they're Mimosa Sunday cardstock die cuts, and there's some really sort of pretty colourful die cuts in this pack. I'm using a background that I've created with, I think it was just paints with using the, what do you call them, this thing. So I'm going to try to do those while I'm talking. All right, first question is my name, which is Sue Luck. That's my maiden name. Professionally, I go by my my married name. I'm no longer married. I'm actually divorced, but I did keep that name for my professional life, I guess, simply because it was easier. So I've just kept that, which is actually Howarth, which if you ever receive packages from me, it's probably on there, and it's also a link to all of my my PayPal account and stuff like that. So that's my name. How did I come up with my YouTube name? This was a bit of an evolution, I guess, from when I first started. It was just a quick, what can I call myself? Rather, I didn't want my name. So I thought, well, this is my art time. So it was simply art time. Then I was getting more into the mixed media stuff. So I thought I would go with mixed media craft time. But then I realized that I was starting to move more into journals. So I changed it to art, craft and journals, which I thought sort of covered everything I did. Bit of art, bit of craft, and the journals. So that's why I end up with art, craft and journals. I didn't really want to change it or keep changing it, but it just seemed to be the best option at the time. Favourite craft? I really can't answer that. I don't know. I love all crafts. The only things I don't really do is macrame, and I don't crochet. Never could really get them. Just, I don't know. They were just ones that I never really got into or really found easy to do. So I never really did them. But I love paper crafting. I love fabric crafting as such, making things with fabric. I love embroidery. I love cross stitch. I've tried pretty much everything and been obsessed for a little while about different ones and then moved on. I've done scrapbooking, I don't know, pretty much everything. So I just generally love every type of craft. Favourite shops for craft supplies? I guess I get a lot from online. I get some from Etsy. Spotlight in Australia, I get a few of those from Spotlight. I also really like Which Crafts Do You Do? I think she has a lot of different things there. So I quite often get the different things from there. I do like the sari silk that I get from there, and a few other bits and pieces. So I guess that would be my favourite. I go to Spotlight quite a bit. Spotlight's really kind of the only option we have in Australia for crafts in general. There are smaller shops that do like art shops and things, but generally I go to Spotlight for most things. They do tend to be a little expensive sometimes, especially if you're after Tim Holtz stuff or anything like that. You're better off going online. But if you want something in a hurry, Spotlight it is. I do also do art journaling classes as well, with the Crafters Cupboard, I think it's called, and they do have a little shop as well that I pick up some bits and pieces from as well. What else we got? Top 5 YouTube channels. Look, I really like a lot of people. There isn't 5 that I could single out. I like watching a variety of channels. It kind of depends on what I'm into at the time, or what I want to learn. So I will sort of watch a variety of channels. Once I got into journaling, I seemed to watch all the journaling ones. Prior to that, it was all the mixed media ones. My first ones that I did watch when I first started doing YouTube videos, or first started crafting again after a break, I was actually quite by accident, really. I broke my ankle. This was the first time I broke my ankle 2.5 years ago, and I was stuck in bed at that point, and I was bored, I guess, and I didn't really know what to do. And I really wasn't into Netflix at that point, so I was just sort of hunting around. I think I was looking at journaling, and then I don't know, I think I ended up with art journaling, I guess, and next thing I know, I'm looking at all these mixed media artists, and I must admit I was quite obsessed for a while, because I was stuck in bed, yet here I was really desperate to do mixed media, and unfortunately I didn't let the fact that I was stuck in bed stop me. I did start doing some mixed media in bed. I think I ordered some things online, or I got someone to drive me somewhere to buy some stuff, so some gesso and some basic paints and things like that. And I did start doing my mixed media in bed, which is really dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend it. I was doing really well until I did actually spill the gesso all over my doona cover. Fortunately, most of it came off, but it did sort of, I guess, stop me, and I did then go, well, really, I shouldn't be doing this in bed. It is crazy. So then I did move sort of to the kitchen table, and moved on from there. And at that point, I was ready to start moving around a little bit as it was. So yeah, that's sort of where I guess I started. So my totally off track here. My favourite channels, I don't know. I did start with watching Bella Rose, who's now Amber K Creations. I loved her stuff. She was one of my early inspirations. Suzanne Rose as well, who I still watch. There was another lady too who doesn't seem to do videos much at all. She does a whole bunch and then stops. An English lady. Oh, I can't think of her name. No, I can't think of her name. But I loved her stuff as well. I like watching a lot of the Australian YouTubers simply because I like to support them. And I just, I think they're all doing really great stuff. And I love looking at the stuff they do. So yeah, I watch a lot of those. I like watching new channels as well. I sort of skip around and watch a few new ones just for ideas and just to see what's out there. I watch Roxy Creations pretty regularly. I watch Wendy's Journaling Adventures, Diane H. Pretty much, look, I really watch as many as I can. I watch them during the morning when I first wake up about 4 o'clock. Because once I'm awake in the morning, I can't go back to sleep. So then it's pretty much until I get up at 6. It's a couple of hours of YouTube watching, which is why I don't always comment, because I sort of have it propped up near on my bedside table. So it's not always, I don't always sort of reach over and comment, but I do watch quite a variety. Just looking for some words here that sort of match what I'm doing here, very slowly doing here. I think that will do. Actually, well, maybe a love heart, no. I think I've covered. I think they're okay. They're very simple. I wasn't expecting that I would do anything really brilliant, but that will serve the purpose, so that's okay. And I hope the people like them as well. Yeah, I can't seem to find any words that suit what I want. I was hoping for something like congratulations. I was sure I saw something about congratulations or celebrate or something like that. Oh, hang on, here's a C. Celebrate. Yeah, I might put that one on there. Yeah, so they're my channels, I guess. Favourite colour, easy. Anyone who watches my channel should have picked up by now that purple is my favourite colour. I always have liked purple. I remember as a young girl, my bedroom was purple. I wanted everything purple. And it still is. My house is, not my house itself is purple, but I have a lot of white furniture and purple accessories. My desk has purple everything. You'll notice my scissors are purple, rulers purple, everything I try to get purple. I have been known to not buy something simply because it was not purple. If I can't get purple and I really, really want the item, I will go and get a pink. I do like black as well. I tend to dress in a lot of black. I don't know, I just do. It's easy, I guess, for me. I don't like spending a lot of time thinking about what I'm wearing, especially as I drag myself out of bed quite early to get ready for work, so it's a matter of whatever's there. Favourite craft tools. Oh, gee, this is kind of difficult, but not, because I don't actually have a lot of favourite craft tools. One of my most favourite would probably be a blade and ruler. I use it a lot. In some ways I prefer it over one of those cutting thingamajiggies or scissors. Scissors are useful, of course, for cutting things that are not straight, but I do like using a blade and a ruler for straight things. Other than that, glue, I guess. They're just the basic things. I do like using my sewing machine, but it drives me nuts. So I can't honestly say it's my favourite. Other than that, I really don't have any favourites. I just love all my art things. I like watercolours at the moment, I must admit. So yeah. What's next? Where do you get your love of crafting from? I actually don't know. I'm one of 6 children, and not one of them really is into any arty crafty stuff at all. My parents are certainly not arty crafty. My mum did knitting when I was younger, but I think that was more out of necessity than it was because she enjoyed it. I mean, she probably does enjoy it, but that's as far as it goes. My dad's certainly not. None of my brothers and sisters are. So I actually don't know. As far as I know, I'm the only one in my immediate family who does like crafting, but I always have liked crafting or doing arty stuff. I remember many, many years ago, I would have only been probably in grade 6, so the end of primary school, where my mum bought me a book on how to make soft toys. And I love that book. I still got it. I did make, they were out of felt, so I did make some of those. I do remember my grade 6 year, I had a teacher who believed that once you finished your work for the day, you could do whatever you liked. So I've always been one of these people who get my stuff done as quick as I can so that I can spend time crafting or doing what I want to do. So this particular year I spent a lot of my afternoons in grade 6 making clothes for Barbies. My aunt worked at a clothing factory, and she quite often would bring home scraps of materials, and it was all lycra sort of materials, and so stretchy stuff. So I made an awful lot of Barbie clothes out of this stretchy fabric. I love doing it. In fact, I had a lot of those clothes still when I had my daughter and she was young enough to play Barbies. We've since got rid of them now, but I had them for a long time. But I have always loved making crafty stuff. I distinctly remember making dolls' furniture out of milk cartons and things. I've always loved craft stuff, so it's been around for a long time for me. So that answers the next question. When did you start crafting? What has been your favourite craft so far? As I said earlier, I don't have a favourite in particular. I love doing embroidery. I did cross stitch for many years when my children were younger, and I could justify spending hours sitting there making, cute things for the kids, for their walls and things. I did scrapbooking for a while. I was a creative memories consultant for a little while when I used to work part-time. But once I went back to work full-time, it was just too much. Couldn't keep it up. I like the memory keeping aspect of scrapbooking, which now sort of for me is sort of transferred into journaling or daily journaling. I don't necessarily journal every day, but I do like to do a journal page, I guess, on particular events that might have happened with some photos and things like that. And I think I'm doing a really bad job with these. Hard to concentrate and talk at the same time. I do like making journals at the moment too. I'm into that at the moment. And I have so many ideas that I want to do, but just time, don't have the time. So I think that comes to the end of the questions. I don't know who to tag actually, because I don't know, there seems to be a lot of people being tagged already, so I'm not sure who else hasn't been tagged. So I'm going to do what somebody else did. I guess it's kind of cheating, but if you would like, totally messed that up. If you are a YouTuber and would like to do a video, go for it. So I'll tag anybody who wants to do one. And I think that this may be... I'm not sure if I'm going to use this now. If it was just for me, I probably wouldn't bother. Maybe I can cover it with something. I might cover it with something. So I'll just finish these. But I hope that sort of answers some questions. Thank you, Marsha. It has been, I must admit, I have enjoyed listening to quite a few other people, answering the questions. It's kind of nice to hear what other people say and how other people got into crafting and what things they enjoy and what they didn't enjoy. We're all different, but in some ways we're all very similar. I must admit, I find it interesting, those people who, got into crafting later in life. I sort of think it must have been there in your genes to start with, to just suddenly get into it. I find that really strange. I guess because I've always been into it, so it was always for me just not having the time to do it a lot. And there were time periods in my life where I stopped crafting because I was too busy, or when you've got little kids, they're your priority. You tend to do things for them. I do remember whenever they had projects, though, I would kind of help out, take over their projects, because I did like doing projects, the sort of things. I remember building a castle with my son, a medieval castle. That was brilliant. Loved doing that. Great bonding time with him, I guess. We did an awesome castle. So I guess that was where I did my, those time periods where I couldn't do my own. I guess I did a lot of embroidery at night while watching television too, you know. But yeah, as I was saying, it really is, it has been interesting listening to other people. It's nice getting to know other people as well. So I've enjoyed it. Alright, as you can see, I am plodding away at these. I don't know if they're the best tags I've ever made because it's kind of hard to concentrate when you're talking and having to think at the same time. I'm not really good at thinking and doing, maybe. Or at least not talking about what I'm actually doing, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, hopefully you found that somewhat interesting and not too boring. These I'm actually struggling a little bit with these die cuts because they're bright colours and I'm not really a bright colour person, although I'm getting better at it, I must admit. I love with the mixed media stuff. Just pop a bit of bubbly up there. I'm sure I saw a glass somewhere. Oh, never mind. Alright, so the last one. So really all I did was put a little bit of a doily, or a doily, a little paper doily, and some of the die cuts, and pretty standard sort of a design. And I'm using the art glitter glue, which is probably an expensive way of doing it, but I must say I do like it. It was one of my purchases at a recent craft fair, which I have done a video for, sharing the stuff, but I'm not sure if it's going to go up before this one or not, because, well, I haven't worked that one out yet. Now I think I've messed that up a little bit, haven't I? Oh well, he's going to go up there, or she. And we need something in this area. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, we might do fabulous. Okay, oh, here we go again. I have actually put some of this art glitter glue into a smaller bottle too, one of those with the very fine, what do you call it, tips, and it does work wonderfully as long as you put the lid on. You've got to keep putting the lid on because it does dry out very quickly. Alright, what I might do is put a border around these. These, as I said, they were just painty sort of papers made with paint and the brayer, that's what it's called, the brayer. And I did glue them onto some thicker cardstock, white cardstock, because they were a bit flimsy. It was watercolour paper. It was an experiment that kind of didn't work as well as I expected, so it was a bit disappointing, but oh well, things happen, and I'm certainly not going to waste it. Alright, now that one just a bit darker. Okay, they will do. That side. Okay, that will do. And I think I'll finish up now. So just quickly, let's see, there's that one, there's that one, and that one. Alright, as I said before, I hope you enjoyed that and wasn't too boring. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Marsha, for tagging me. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now.